Hello YouTubers, I want to welcome you to another edition of Park and Pin Gear. And I hope you're having some nice holidays. Christmas is coming up. Now, hopefully you've been subscribing, because I often refer to older videos. It's an easy way to find them. Okay, a while ago, I had my little Bugera T5 tube head. Right here, right, and suddenly the power light went on in the back, warning me of a bad tube, and it started to sound terrible, right? So I went ahead and ordered some tubes, and they're here. Right, you might recognize this from Tube Depot. Okay. And since I was ordering tubes, I got the correct power tube for this. In fact, I got two, because I know I have another T5, and it's probably due for a tube change as well. Now keep in mind that the tube that was in there was a stock tube. Right? Let's face it, Bugera tubes aren't exactly the best. So my favorite tubes are either Electro-Harmonics or JJs. I believe these are JJs. I could be wrong though. Okay. Let me open this box. I guess we're going to have an unboxing. Alright, please don't try this at home. Only trained professionals should attempt. Here we go. There it is. Alright. So these are wrapped up. Awesome, yes, they're JJs. So this is for the Bugera amp. Well, okay, never mind. I guess I got one 12AX7 and one EL84 power tube. So I guess I didn't order an extra. Okay. So anyway, we've got these tubes here, so we're going to go ahead and replace that. So I guess the first thing to do is get rid of this metal canopy or cover, you know. Actually, let's see how that works. Okay, so we're going to have to start. Okay, but over here, they're along the front, so, well, let's start with the side anyway. And they're, now I have to admit, it's very similar to the EVH lunchbox, stealth lunchbox head. The head, which was really nice, but it didn't have any built-in reverb. Not a deal breaker, but it would have been nice. What was really cool about that, they put LED lights inside the amp. And my guess is you could do that with this amp as well. You know, though it's not stock, so. But yeah, you could definitely do it. It'd be pretty neat. You know. That might be a project to tackle someday. Right? Buy some LED strips or whatever. Right? You'd have to kind of, for the power, you know, you could either run a an extension cable or what have you, but what would be really cool is to have it be, get its power, from the amp. Right, so every time you turn it on, you get that color thing. That would be kind of neat. Okay. Oops. There we go. Okay. Yeah, so it looks like we've got two screws. I assume they're the same screws. In the back here. That's going to have to go too. And these little heads aren't very expensive. I think new they're like 200, maybe 220, something like that. For a 5-watt head, it's not bad. Well, they make the Bulgara V5, which is a combo amp version. And it's similar in price, I think. Except there you get the speaker and the whole deal. Here it's just this tiny head. So you have to hook it up to a cabinet, obviously. Okay. There we go. Alright. Two more on the side here. Doesn't look like the tubes are too hard to reach. And hopefully it'll be back to normal, 'Cause it sounded pretty darn good. Until I had problems with the tube, Then it sounded kind of bad, but... Alright. Okay, and then we've got, once we get this one out, we have two more screws along the front. I'm kind of impressed by the screws are on here pretty good. A lot of times on low budget amps and things, the screws are always loose from the factory. That's sad. Here, that's not the case at all, man. Okay, well, for one thing, this thing is dusty as can be. Man. Let's clean that. Look at that. Well, you can't see it, but it's so dusty. Man. Okay, so here's what we've got. There it is. Pretty nice, says Bulgara. Has a power tube here and a 12AX7 here. And we are going to swap both of them out with JJ's. So the very first thing we're going to do is the power tube. So there's the old one, the EL84. And we're going to replace it here. I'm lining up the holes. It has a notch there and it's got a... Here, let me use this just to be sure. Flashlight. There we go. Okay, I think that's it. Now the 12AX7. Which for all I know may still be good, honestly. But might as well. since we're switching them out. Pop. Okay, so there it is. I've got the little Bugera T5 with new tubes in it. Let's see how it sounds. Okay. As far as sound quality and things, I mean, it's purring like a kitten. It's like I remember when I got it, it's the more that kind of sound. And actually the tubes were decent. So there was something wrong with those tubes that I replaced. And by the way, I'm playing into just a little orange tiny cabinet, the PPC 108. I believe it's an 8 ohm cabinet, so the Bugera has no problem running it. Pretty darn cool. And these tubes, I'm trying to see what brand they are and things. Oh, there we go. Let's see. Let me see if I can read that. I'll be darned. They're Bugera tubes. Whatever that means to you. But boy, I don't remember it sounding this sweet. I mean, really smooth, kind of. Maybe I've been playing solid state, you know, for too long that I don't remember. Pretty impressive, I think, for a little tiny, 5-watt tube head. And yeah, it sounds really good, I think. tubes took care of the Bugera T5. And pretty darn cool little 5-watt head going through the orange amps. I can definitely tell it's tubes as far as the feel of it goes. It's almost like a rounder tone. Each note has a rounder tone than the jagged solid state. Though don't get me wrong, I like the orange solid state sound, but I realized right away the difference with tubes. And I've come to appreciate solid state and tubes. I mean, I like them both, but realize they're different. Definitely the Bugera sounds a little warmer, you know. And again, the rounder tones and things. And as far as the volume goes, for a little freaking, you know, tiny little cabinet, the PPC 108, I can show it to you here. Ooh. Do you see that? I mean, that is puny. By the way, I have Orange also makes a mini amp. And I mean, you want to talk about small, this thing is puny. But it's like 3 watts, and it has a tuner in it and things. But really, that's the kind of thing you put on your desktop or on a shelf or something. It's not really something you can play, get a decent tone out of it. You know, but the PPC 108s, don't be fooled by their size, really. I mean, I have a 20-watt Orange, really, and it doesn't... little PPC 108 is comparable, you know. And the little Bugera heads are obviously microphonic. Now, if I had to do it again, and I probably will, is I could adjust the little cage a better as far as screwing it in, you know. So I might end up doing that. But for the purposes of this video and the fact that I wanted to play it, you know, I'll do it later. Yeah, I'll do it later. How very cool, though. And, I mean, boy, changing the tubes was easy peasy. I mean, it was easy. You know, some tubes are kind of a pain because the socket is way deep inside the amp. It's a lot harder to line up the pins. Here, it was super easy. And once you get them in there, the sockets are, you know, are pretty nice because they really protect the tube as well. So very nice. I don't see it heating up or anything or any kind of weird thing, you know. My guess is that the light on the back is turned off by now. Let's see. It sure is. So, for whatever reason, those Bugera tubes kind of freaked out and, well, lost its stuff. I mean, it's just, yeah, they're blown. They're no good. They're bad. But replacing them with these JJs, very nice. Yeah. And again, yeah, my favorite tubes again are JJs and Electro Harmonics. To be fair, though, that's the only tubes I've ever tried. Ever. So, there you go. Pretty cool. Hopefully these will last a little longer than the Bugeras did. I mean, the Bugeras lasted, what? Maybe 3 months, something like that. Pretty cool, though. Very pleased. Let me play it a little more. Oops, I have the delay on. just at 5. And yeah, we'll even put the reverb at 5 here. I did mention the T5 has built-in reverb. That's very uncommon for a little tiny 5-watt amp, I'll tell you that much. By the way, that first chord in that passage right there, total scam. I totally ripped that off of Eric Johnson. I think probably, what's the album, A Bloom or something? I think that's what it's from. Anyway, a sharp minor with an open B string. Sweet. Yeah, that's right. Pretty cool. Okay, so that's it for this video. And it was a success, except for the cage. I'm gonna re-screw it in, if you like, because it's kind of off a little bit. In other words, I had a hard time screwing it back in, basically, you know. Now, not as bad as that commercial, I don't know if you've ever seen it, where they've got these two kids playing with a wood block set. And one of them is sitting there with a square block and there's a round hole and he's trying to hammer it in, you know. It's not quite that bad. Alright, in any case, see you next time. Okay, bye.